Here we go. 3 minutes. That's good, seeing as you've probably been out of bed for 2. Good morning. Here we go. Hannah is just entertaining the dog, who's very, very pleased to see her this morning. I don't get this reaction when I come down. Partly, I think it's because he usually expects me just to sit first, which is fair enough. And actually, I don't know. I shouldn't take it personally, but you know, I tend to take him for more walks. But he just seems to prefer everybody else.
It's me.
It is you. He does love you. Yeah. Doesn't mind being told off by Hannah. Doesn't mind being sprayed by Hannah. Look, when I spray him, he looks at me like, "Oh, you're so mean to me." It's only water and essential oils, helping him smell better. You know. But, he is crazy. In that respect, fickle. Not fickle. He's just got his favourites, and he's a dog, so he can't hide it. You know, I've got my favourite people in life. Some of them might be here now, maybe not. I know they are. Finley's just here, that's right. There we go. Yeah, so here we are, middle of the week again already. It's flying round. But,
and now it's autumn by the looks of it.
But it's not cold. I've been out.
Okay.
And I was actually talking about whether, in circumstances, how that can kind of just change our outlook of the day.
Oh, change his mind, gracious.
And you know me, like stories. I was talking about when grew up with horses, and from the age of kind of 11, 12, me and particularly my brother and my mum and dad used to obviously have a continual cycle of going to the horses every day, at least once, sometimes twice. In terms of, there was help to have them fed, but everything else we had to do. And just talking about, I'd maybe wake up in the night, we'd wake up in the morning, didn't have to wee as often when I was a kid. It's just the age thing, isn't it? Oh no, it's just banging down. And there were, like, in those days, there was no weather apps. You either watched the weather or you didn't know what it was going to do.
In the olden days when you was a kid.
You had to look outside to find out what the weather was.
It was more accurate though.
Probably.
Like, check AccuWeather now. It's banging down outside. Sunshine and clouds.
They should get done, really, like sort of for trade descriptions.
Yeah.
AccuWeather.
Yeah, because not Accu at all.
It should be kind of maybe possibly made up weather. And just how that can kind of knock off you, how you start your day or whatever. But kind of a better way to look at it is there's probably no bad weather, it's just the wrong kit selection. I was telling a couple of little tricks that we came up with this when we were kids. We realised that if you put I'll get Eden to do this now when she goes riding, put the boots you're going to ride in on as soon as you can so they can warm up. If you just put them on and then get on to ride, especially if they're stored at the cold place where the horses are, your feet are freezing and they stay freezing. Put them on and warm it up, especially rubber boots that we used to wear just around the yard and stuff. You know, they just keep all the heat in. It's ideal for wind cold.
So, any of you out going riding today?
Any activity, as long as the trainers are clean, you want to have or whatever, put them on as soon as you can.
That's true.
And then use the car heater. If you go drive somewhere to walk your dog or whatever,
my mum was really
get that
nice
car
to me.
heater pumping onto your feet.
She used to warm up my things in front of the open fire before I put them on.
It's nice.
Do you know what though?
Did you have to have your bath there as well? It wasn't Victorian time, so I'm just checking.
But she would, whatever, I'm younger than you, but she would warm up my towel in front of the bath, I was in the bath, in front of the fire, and then she'd bring it up and so that I had a fresh hot towel.
That's nice.
She was, she'd put my jammies on there.
Yeah.
On the fire guard thing.
I kind of have the opposite thing sometimes with the kids. Can you bring me a towel? Yeah, they bring it so close it's wet. In the shower. Yeah, we bought you a towel. Yeah, but it's here with me now. And it's as wet as me. Thanks, Levi. Oh, yeah, I bought it.
Do you know though, I genuinely did have to have like a mindset change.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you can tell from my accent, I'm Southern. And
Really? I thought you came from Dewsbury.
And when I moved up here, I didn't understand how cold it was. Now, it's only a few degrees, but it makes all the difference in the world.
It's just 1 or 2, isn't it?
It's not a lot. My sister had the same thing, though. It's not just me. And it took me, I'm not joking. Years. I'm not joking. To
Years
actually
get used to how cold it can actually get.
To
in the
get
winter,
acclimatized.
yeah.
And I did have winters, didn't I, where I would. Okay, this is really. I'd be so cold. I'd feel quite. I'd be like, I'm so cold. This is horrible. And I remember like a few years in. Go on.
I'm not one of these guys that says you can't have the heating on. Things
No,
like that.
no.
I'm not just like, I'll get an extra jumper. Come on.
I get so proud of myself now if it's like winter and I go out just in a hoodie. I'm like, Mark, I'm like a northerner now. Just wearing a hoodie.
Just a hoodie,
Instead of 15 layers. But I did have to have a mindset change where I was like, this is where I live now. So I either sort my head out and decide that it's good, or I'm going to be miserable for as long as I live here every winter. Yeah. So I just bought a really good waterproof coat and like really good hats and gloves and stuff. Like I wear thermal gloves when I go out.
Took them out last week. June.
But it made all the difference.
Yeah.
And like in my job now, I like one of the things I do is take people out. Like I do exercise with people, but say I've taken them out for a walk or something. And like it doesn't matter what the weather is, unless it is torrential. I'm like, come on, coats on, boots on, get everything you need. Let's go. It's just a mindset change.
From what you've said, like some of the girls you work with do sometimes arrive kind of not thinking that maybe that bit of kit, if I don't bring it, then I don't have to do it, that sort of thing.
Well, I think also especially like if people have come from like down south, and so the kit list, you know, you're supposed to bring waterproof coat, hat, gloves.
Suitable.
Yeah, no, I'm okay in these. I'm like, this is Yorkshire, it's muddy, right?
Yeah.
You need boots on. No, these are fine. I wear these for walking at home all the time. It's not a problem. I'm like, okay, come on, let's go. Go for a walk, go back there like, I should have worn some wellies. Yes, you should. Next time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not a brand that's around very much now, but, you know, when back in the day, White K-Swiss.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wouldn't cut it in Yorkshire, would they? Unless you're right in kind of Leeds or Bradford. On the actual
that kind of thing is a bit like back in now.
I know, but I've not seen very many.
K-Swiss, well, maybe not. You know what I mean? Now.
Yeah, but that kind of, yeah. Nike Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
Box Fresh White. Not for long. Not for long. So, yeah. I think kitting up is as much in the mind as it is in the actual
I think so.
kit. Yeah, it's good that.
I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
And now I'm like, oh yeah, it's okay. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
Put my coat on.
Yeah, definitely.
Put my hat on. You can always dry off, can't you?
Yeah. That skin is waterproof.
Skin is
waterproof. When we swim, we don't expand. Yeah, it doesn't just go in and keep on.
Can you imagine? Like those Orbeez things, if you got in the pool and you're...
filled up with water, you get back out and it just drains back out your toes. It'd be amazing.
That'd be really funny.
It would be weird.
Yeah, but you know people would sell it as some kind of weight loss thing. It would be like Juice Plus, but in the water.
Some sort of flotation treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that won't work.
I think that's the point, love.
The more you fill up.
Crazy things don't work.
How many guys? Hey. They wore them in the office.
Oh.
Yes. Sometimes the office was cold though, Julie, let's be honest. It's a big warehouse.
Julie, the best boss ever, because she recognised that I'm soft. And she put me a little heater under my desk. So one day when I came into work, I had a little heater ready to warm my feet up.
Yeah. And as an organisation,
can't go wrong with that, can you?
Doing the homeless beanies thing, there was always a hat around, one or two.
It was not uncommon for me to go in the cupboard and come back out with
the homeless
extras.
A little bit of modelling for today.
Extra things on. I'm like, I'll just borrow this puffer jacket.
Yeah. Speaking of which, they are some of the cutest pictures of our kids.
Yeah.
That photo shoot that Julie set up and got the kids to
do. Yeah, they are. Super cute. They were both, especially Eden, she was just at that age
still a little
where she like looked a bit like a doll.
Yeah, super cute. Yeah. So they're called, I mean, I don't even know what time of year it is, but it always kind of pops up on Facebook memories.
Yeah.
Of Eden being super cute. I think there's one picture of her where she's like holding the hat at the sides. It looks like she's snuggled in. So that's very cool.
Yeah, October, we're starting to have to think about street sleep.
Yes.
You have to, that during the street sleep, that was definitely a time where I had to borrow extra clothes. I had to come look like the Michelin Man. Like, I really want to be here.
Yeah. It's amazing actually. Even in a sleeping bag, you got everything on. I've done the street sleep twice, and I've slept out as well quite a few times. Obviously, the main XCC that I did.
Yeah.
If your face is cold, you are cold.
Yeah.
It's like any part that's exposed.
It is amazing, like, to think that the amount of people that don't have a house to go to, that don't have a warm bed to go to, and it's, and I know there's lots of reasons, and I know there's some people who, for various reasons, have ended up kind of long-term homeless, but you meet so many people who just had like a bad run of stuff happen. You think, man, but by the grace of God, like, it could be any of us. You haven't got more than 2 paychecks saved up, have you?
No.
If you have, I'd like to know now. But you don't. So if anything happens, what you've got to fall back on. You've got a mortgage to pay, or, sadly, relationships break down and things like that. It's easy to walk past people on the street and judge them and just kind of go, oh, well, you're drinking. It's like, well, you might be drinking if you were on the street, mate.
Yeah. Just because even just literally how cold it is.
Yeah.
And that,
which clearly it doesn't actually work, drinking to stay warm, but it makes you think it does, and
it makes you feel something different.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're all incredibly judgy. I think the amount of people that end up homeless because of relationship breakdown. I'm like, if you've just lost your family and you're home and you're sleeping on the street, you might want a few tinnies.
True.
I'm not going to judge them for that.
On that, definitely check out the work of In Churches.
Yeah.
And Julie.
INN.
Yeah, is very knowledgeable on actually very practical ways to help.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things where there's almost no right thing, and you want to do something. And someone who is on the street and has fallen into substance abuse, to cope with that, if you give them money, that's what they will spend it on. And in a sense, you don't want to exacerbate that problem, but then it does mean they don't do something criminal to.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really difficult thing to kind of get into,
it's such a hard thing to.
A personal.
Yeah, and
you have to make a personal decision, don't you?
Julie's very knowledgeable about it. Yeah. So
sometimes I give people money. Sometimes I give people a
food
sandwich.
Yeah.
Often though, I will ask before I give them a sandwich. It's okay to be homeless and vegetarian, right? I'm not just going to presume. So, like, I'll have a conversation with somebody and say, "Do you actually want?" Because they might not need us. Like,
there's obviously definitely people that do want to help and do help out. And sometimes you ask a homeless person, they're like, "Actually, no, I'm all right. I've actually got too much stuff today. People keep giving me things."
Yeah.
And I'm okay.
I think though, everybody, like, whether with all the stuff that it's been in social media recently as well, around racism and that kind of thing. Actually, what all of us want is for another human to recognise our humanity, and to speak to us with respect to our humanity.
Yeah.
And actually, that's what we should be striving for. Whoever we're talking to, it doesn't matter whether you're speaking to somebody from a totally different culture to you. I'm not talking about, skin colour. I just mean like a completely different culture. And that could be you're both white from England, but somebody's from, like a really deprived estate, and somebody's come from having everything. They're two very different cultures. It could be that you're talking to somebody who's homeless. Whatever it is, like, just recognise someone's humanity. And speak to somebody as though you recognise their humanity. And maybe, like, that old adage, speak as you'd like to be spoken to, do unto others as you'd like to have done unto you. Those old things.
There's definitely things get phrased in different ways and then kind of, in a sense, stick in people's psyche. The whole thing around respect. respect has to be earned is probably the least helpful expression, because actually respect should just be given as a standard. It was the last head teacher one of the head teachers that I worked for used to like talk about this with the kids on a regular basis, because I don't know if he recognised it or just in his experience of 30, 40 years in teaching, that the kind of pervading idea is you have to earn my respect before I will want to learn from you as a student, or I will listen to you when I'm not doing something right, and you have to correct what I'm doing. And his thing was that he just majored on consistently was, you know, respect should just be given. It is a given, and then you kind of work out, everything works out better from there, where you just give respect as standard to everybody. And it was my dad who used to say, you know, the history asks things where respect yourself, respect everybody else, and take responsibility. And
man. Those things are lacking.
You know, actually, in reality, was, you know, he definitely had a certain set of parameters where, before he gave someone status and respect, to be able to, in a sense, to listen to them or whatever. But he was on the right lines.
Yeah, and he would always speak to everybody with, like, in a respectful manner, and I think that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, that you can say, like, give everyone respect, well, which I agree with, right? But obviously, if somebody's, I'm trying to think of good language. If someone's just a tool, right? That's easier said than done, yeah. Because you do think, well, you don't deserve respect. You're being horrible. Yeah. But you can speak to people in a respectful manner. You can disagree with them entirely. Yeah. But you can still speak to them in a respectful manner. And I think that's the thing that your dad endeavoured to do. Yeah. Was speak to everybody in a respectful way.
Until kind of proven otherwise. And
well, even if somebody's wrong, you can tell them that respectfully. Yeah. I respectfully tell you, you are wrong.
And then sometimes, if that's kind of something you have to do on a regular basis, in the sense of you are connected to that person in some sort of way, to respect yourself, you might reduce that connection.
Yeah, but that's about the boundaries you put in around relationships, isn't it?
Thing,
which is a whole nother coffee morning.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we're doing well this week. Getting some good stuff.
Cheers, dear.
Thanks. Well, I hope you're enjoying this morning. In general, I mean,
not just
hopefully
this.
We're adding something to it, maybe a little bit. You know, Friday would probably be a washout.
Because it's Friday.
Maybe if she could sing, that girl, not you, and it was a good song, she might have gone somewhere with it. You know, that's what happens when your dad's really
Judgy
rich.
McJudgeson.
What?
Judgy McJudgeson.
Everyone knows the story.
Ooh.
Everything was done from the ground up for her due to affluent parents.
Does that mean that she's any less valid?
Fair play, you know.
If you were, well, no, that's ridiculous. If we were absolutely minted, we'd still make our kids work hard for it. But
well, she might well have worked hard for
there
it.
you go. See,
she might have had to cut the lawn
every
week for 2 weeks before the dad said it's all right. We'll get you a recording studio.
Judge.
And no,
we call him Judge Judy over here.
There is a story. I mean, clearly, if you remember back to kind of 2006, 2007, there was a kind of caricature artist.
I remember who did the song.
I can remember who. That was Rebecca Black or someone did that one. Terrible. But LMFAO. So basically, the guy that kind of did upbeat dance tracks and then rapped on top of it. He is. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still alive. He created that character because his family are in the music industry, and it's where I'm going to do something so kind of off the wall and crazy, and just see what happens. And so that's what he did. He just created that persona, LMFAO, and bounced around a bit, saying pretty much nothing, with well-produced tracks because he could get them well-produced because of his family being in the music industry. And we've had 2 years of being successful, being on all sorts of other people's tracks as well.
Yeah, I mean, though,
just in a sense did it for a laugh because he could.
Mr. Blobby, like.
Yeah, well.
Like Barbie girl. You can name
I've got
so
a theory
many
about Mr. Blobby
horrendous
on
things.
the BBC back in those days as well. Also, Top Gear with the Stig, same person.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely same person.
Mr. Blobby and the Stig.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Was Mr. Blobby really, if you link them together, kind of like Gordon the Gopher grown up and not looking after himself? I don't know. It's too far now. It's too far.
He needs NW Fitness for that.
Oh, no.
Beautiful.
I mean, it must have been someone the relative had a high level of fitness inside Mr. Blobby, because actually he could shift, that guy.
Oh,
He
yeah.
needed
And
to.
he must have been warm.
Warm, and he could hit a tackle as well. He wanted to take someone over.
God, do you know what? There's some classic TV back then.
Yeah.
Mallet's Mallet. That was brilliant. Timmy
Yeah.
Mallet. What was the one with the identical twins in insanely, ridiculously small outfits?
Pat Sharp.
Kids show, guys. Kids show.
My brother auditioned for that.
Yeah, but he
His
flipping
legs.
did. Goodness me.
Yeah, I think that was one of his things. He didn't get to meet them. I mean, this is when he was back in high school, like year 8 or 9 or something.
Fun house, it's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Prizes to be won.
I really liked that show, except for I thought the go-karts did go quite slow.
They did. Yeah, but there's health and safety even back
I know,
then.
even back then, health and safety. I think that got more of me than it got him.
Oh, he knew.
Anyway, so we are going to go and finish our coffee. I'm going to get the workout set up for this morning for 8 o'clock, and have a really good day. I should say as well, actually, if there is anything that we actually say that you want to listen to again, do save all these morning coffee chats along with everything else up onto YouTube, and the links are around. Not everything I save is publicly available.
I think it's a decent.
No, everything I save is publicly available, because obviously some of the stuff is kind of for groups and things like that. But morning coffee, lunge and listen, daily focus, some of the Wednesday and Saturday workouts, if you're that way inclined, can be found all on my YouTube channel, as well as kind of different other talks and things I've done that I do save publicly, because it's got some information there that I think will be useful more widely. So those are kind of like the talks from my MW Fitness Online, the training and coaching group. So things around health and fitness, nutrition, that I think will be kind of more helpful to more people rather than just saving them inside the group. So yeah, check it out on YouTube. I don't know what the URL is. I'll put it into these in here afterwards, just so you can have a look at that as well. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, have a really good day, guys. And
See ya.
see you later.